Well, it's time to take a look at a budget action camera. This one boasts 4K at 60 frames per second at only $115. It's the Victure AC920, and that's coming right up. Well, hey everybody, time to look, like I said, at another action camera. This one is budget minded and it claims 4K at 60 at $115. Now, to me, that's already a kind of a red flag, especially since it offers electronic image stabilization at 4K 60. So, by the way, stay till the end of this video because I may have a little surprise for you. So I'm going to give it an honest try, see how the video quality looks, see how the image stabilization is with this camera, and see, first off, is it really native 4K? And most importantly, is it really 4K at 60 frames per second? So now we're going to be looking at some different image resolutions of this Victure AC920. We're going to look at some 1080p at 30, 1080p at 60, and then also 2.7K at 30 frames per second. We'll even do some slow motion of 1080p at 120 frames per second. I'll also denote on the bottom left of the screen what the bit rate is of each resolution. And then we're going to do some pixel peeping regarding the 4K 60 and see, is it really 4K 60 or did they just interpolate the 1080p 60 up to 4K 60?
Let's go.
Alright, recording 4K 30 frames per second. People always ask for low light footage, so it is low light right now. It is 6:46 p.m. It's not dark outside, it's just starting to get dark, but on the back of the screen it looks very, very dark. Very dark. And those lights are actually white, and for some reason on the screen they look almost like a burnt orange. Alright, going to do a quick little audio test with this Victure, I believe it's an AC920, with the internal microphone 12345, 12345. Now this kit does come with an external microphone that is a micro USB type. Now I will say that the clip on this is extraordinarily large for a lapel microphone. And one thing I noticed in some of my earlier testing is there was a rattle that I heard, and the rattle is actually from the shutter button. If I shake the camera, should be able to hear that little bit of plasticky rattling noise, and that's coming from that button. It's just loose and just enough to where if you're walking around and making hard steps that it will transfer into the camera and it'll be picked up by the internal microphone. But since this part is the internal microphone, let's plug in the external microphone. Now what I have to do is actually get into the menu system and choose external microphone, and then we'll test that and see how it sounds. Okay, now I've got the external microphone, the little lapel microphone that comes with this, just to see how the audio sounds. Is it any better? Interesting little mechanism here. Let me try to clip it onto my shirt. All right, so now I've got the external microphone clipped on. I will tell you, one-handed, it takes a lot of effort to put this lapel mic on. But just to see how does this sound, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Did it improve audio with this camera as opposed to the built-in microphone? I guess we'll have to stick this into the computer and see how it sounds, and most importantly, see how the video looks on this camera. All right, this is 4K 60 frames per second. We'll see how it looks. It says that it has electronic image stabilization on at 4K at 60, but I'm a little bit suspicious about, is it really 4K at 60 frames per second? You know, there's something that's a little bit off about this Victure in its 4K image quality. So what I thought I'd do is compare it to another budget action camera, the Akaso V50X. And what I'll do is I'll just kind of hold it right here, and then I'll zoom in on both of these just to see detail-wise which one actually has a better 4K image. And then we'll do a quick little stabilization. And I'll just walk towards the shed here for a little stabilization. Which one looks better stabilization wise, but I'm really curious about the image quality. Now, some of the features that this camera boasts, this Victure AC920, it boasts 4K up to 60 frames per second with electronic image stabilization. Now, the chipset that it's using is the SunPlus iCatch V39. Image sensor is a Sony IMX214. It has a 170 degree field of view, but that's only if electronic image stabilization is actually turned off. When you turn it on, it crops in pretty dramatically when you have EIS on. It comes with two 1350 milliamp hour batteries. It does support an external microphone, and it's included with this kit, which is a nice little touch. And it'll take a micro SD card up to 256 gigabytes. It's got a 2-inch touchscreen on the rear. And I'll say one thing, when you look inside the box, this camera comes with a plethora of accessories. So what are my final thoughts about this Victure AC920? Well, it's got some ups and it's got some downs. So let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this camera. Pro, it's got a 1/4-20 screw on the bottom. I like that. Comes with two 1350 milliamp hour batteries. I like that as well. It comes with a plethora of accessories, and it also comes with a waterproof case so that you can go diving with it. Water is still very cold here in Texas, so I'm not going to test that, but I'm going to go with the assumption that it still works underwater. It's got very good audio coming straight out of the camera. It comes with an external microphone, so it has that external microphone support. It's a good thing. It is a native 4K. Now let's get to the cons of this camera. The biggest con for me is that it's billed as a 4K 60 frame per second camera, and it does not offer 4K at 60. It's actually 1080p interpolated, especially when you put them side by side and you take a look at it. You can see that the 1080p 60 and 4K 60, especially when you zoom in at like 200%, it is the exact same quality. First and foremost for me, I do not like the battery drawer. I think that in 2021, it should have a hinged drawer on it, not one of the fingernail drawers where you got to stick your fingernail in just to get the battery out, because I think after repeated use 20, 30 times, either you're going to lose the battery cover or the battery cover is going to get damaged from you trying to pick it open every time. Audio. Now, I just said audio was a pro, but audio is also a con because of that little rattling sound that you hear. Now, this could just be with the one that I got, that the shutter button is a little bit loose on it, but it's enough to where when you're walking around with it, that little piece of plastic shaking around just a little bit causes that horrendous noise to be picked up inside the embodied microphone. And another con is that external microphone. I don't like the clip mechanism at all. Yes, it does have a little ball swivel joint, But when you hold the microphone out in front of you, it actually has decent quality. Once you clip it onto your shirt, it doesn't seem like it is a omnidirectional microphone at all, because it just picked up the muffle of my throat, and it just didn't sound pleasing at all, where the internal microphone actually sounded better. So that's my pros and cons. And hopefully you've stayed till the end of this video, because now I'm going to talk about what I may do. Comment in the comment section below. Let me know if you are interested in me doing a giveaway of this camera. Now, just because I want to give it a 1.5 on my worth it or not scale doesn't mean that it's not a good beginner camera for somebody out there. And considering if I'm going to give it away, it's actually for free. It's going to be for the continental United States only, because it's got batteries. I don't want to deal with international shipping and all that stuff. So if you're interested in me doing a giveaway, comment below and say, yes, do a giveaway of this camera, and I will do up a video of what the rules will be to get this camera and when the deadline will be and all that jazz in a future video, probably within the next couple of days after this video goes up, because I want to kind of see the comments below, because there may be a bunch of people that just say, nah, I'm not really interested in this camera. Product links in the description below so that you can check it out for yourself. And also, as always, I will catch you in the next review. Bye-bye.